actually house sit with your own horses? And by that what I mean is, can you go to someone else's house, maybe even a complete and total stranger, and bring your horses to their house and actually house sit for them while they are away? That is exactly what my husband and I did in Germany this year during the pandemic situation with the virus. And you know what? I'm going to be diving into exactly how that happened and how you might be able to do something similar to us in the future. If you haven't already, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and also comment down below if you've ever attempted to house sit at somebody else's house with your own horses or pets. During the pandemic, my husband and I were actually trapped with our horses in Germany. Now, we were on our way from Ireland. We were actually heading down to our friend's house in Greece, where we were hoping to live, kind of semi-happily ever after with our horses. And of course, then 2020 happened and borders closed and we sort of got stuck in Germany. And what happened was we didn't have a place for our horses to stay, and we couldn't find like a proper boarding stables who would accept us. Everyone was turning us away, and they weren't being very friendly, to be honest. So, we were like a little bit worried at first. And what happened was, luckily a friendly neighbor had a little tiny patch of a field, didn't have a fence or anything on it, but we were able to put up a small electric fence, and he allowed us to keep our horses on his little patch of grass for, well, quite some time, to be honest. And then later, one of our horses actually got injured. This was like super annoying, and it was a not very ideal situation. Luckily she was okay, but she needed to have box rest, so she needed to be in a stall, and suddenly that little grass field we found for them wasn't good enough. So again, we were kind of like back to square one, because all of the stables, we had money, like we would pay them money to keep our horses at their stables, and they were refusing us and they were turning us away. The actual horse stables whose business it is to make money with board. It's crazy. Anyways, so here we are with this horse that needs to be in a stall, and she has like bandages on her legs, and we can't just let her wandering around putting strain on her leg. And so here we are, kind of back to square one, kind of panicking, like, oh no, what are we gonna do? And so luckily we found some very friendly neighbors. They weren't that far away. Actually, it turns out they're about a 10-minute on horseback ride away from where we were. And so they had 2 stalls for their own personal horses, and they allowed us to kind of use one of the stalls. Well, at some point, we'd been going, and obviously we're there feeding our horse every day and changing her bandage, and we're, taking care of her and all that stuff. So we're there very regularly, twice a day, every single day. And so, we kind of became close and friendly with the people who own the stables, obviously. And at some point they, this was later in the year after kind of the lockdown thing eased up a little bit, and they were able to travel, and so they had a little family holiday planned, and they offered for us to house sit. That was very exciting for both of us. They were going to be gone for 3 weeks, so we were going to be house sitting at their house for 3 weeks while they were gone. And they also offered that our other mare, Lily, could then also come over and join our other mare, and they could both be at the stables together, and we could just kind of stay in their house for the entire time, and then, still be with our horses. And that's exactly what happened. So we stayed for 3 weeks. We were taking care of our horses. Obviously the one horse was still okay to ride, so we would ride her in the little arena that they had. And we were just kind of, taking care of the house. And they had like 2 cats that we had to feed. And basically that's what we did. So we got to hang out in this very nice, very lovely house with our horses. And we were official house sitters with horses. Now, you might be sitting there wondering like, okay, well, great, how does that even apply to me? And the thing that I want to point out is, although that might seem kind of like a freak once-in-a-lifetime accident, I'm here to tell you that actually this kind of thing happens to us quite a lot. Okay, because for 2 months we both rode our horses across Ireland, and this is basically what we did every night. Now, we didn't necessarily house sit, we were more couch surfing at that time. But I know of quite a few people who are long riders, or who are, traveling with their horses, and they maybe camp or whatever, and they find themselves in similar situations like this. Now, also there's a few websites that you can go on where house sitting is an actual thing, or other maybe like volunteer, like maybe you're working in exchange for staying there, or different kind of scenarios and situations. But you would be surprised what you can kind of create, what the universe can actually offer you if you simply open yourself to the possibilities and you're not afraid to ask. So, when we were in that situation with our horse, like, her welfare and her care was our priority. Like, there was no time to be embarrassed over knocking on total strangers' doors asking, like, hey, do you have a stall where we can put our horse for the next 2 months? We didn't have time to be embarrassed over something like that, or to be nervous. We had to just buckle down and do it because her welfare depended on it. And there's so many situations where the universe has provided exactly what I needed, and if not just what I needed, but somehow the universe always gives more. It always gives more than you could ever think to ask for yourself. And so, we didn't even think to ask about this whole house sitting situation. It just kind of fell into our laps, and it was great for us because at that time we didn't really have a place to stay. So, to have this kind of really nice house all to ourselves and just kind of feed some cats and then take care of our horses, it was a really nice kind of staycation away during this whole kind of crisis situation. So again, is it possible to house sit with your own horses or house sit for someone else who has horses? My answer is definitely yes, and I'm sure that if you ask enough people, or you kind of aren't afraid to like just go and knock on random strangers' doors or whatever, like, I'm sure that the universe always provides tenfold. So there's lots of websites and resources out there where you can find ways that you can house hunt or house sit for others, or volunteer abroad, or whatever it is. So definitely there are lots of opportunities for you. If you found this video helpful, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, and also share this video with a friend that you think might find this to be helpful. That's it for this video, and happy trails!